Hello, welcome back to another video. Today I am going to be doing the unpopular book opinions tag. This is a very old tag that was probably made years ago, but I recently started my channel and I want to do that because I think it will be a lot of fun. I have a lot of unpopular opinions that I don't really get to talk about. The one problem with this video is that this isn't really a good way to show what type of books I like to read, because I don't usually like to read the type of books I'm about to talk about, but we're gonna do it anyway. I think it'll be fun because these books I have read or thought about reading. So let me just get started. Number one on the list is popular book series I didn't like. This one was pretty easy to come up with because the series was popular at the time of it came out. I don't think a lot of people loved it, but was definitely popular, which was Stalking Jack the Ripper. This is exactly the type of book that I thought I would enjoy, because it was about this girl who was wanting to solve this murder of who Stalking Jack the Ripper was, and it was like historical fiction, and it was perfect for me. I was like, that was going to be so interesting, but I read it and I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like the writing style. I think that was my biggest problem. I just didn't get into the story, and I didn't care about the characters, and I didn't want to continue on. The problem is that all the books in the series just sound so interesting and I want to read them, but I didn't like the first one. I don't think I would like the rest. The second question is popular book series I love but everyone seems to hate. This one I had a big problem coming up with. Because most of the series that I read, I feel like most people don't really talk about it. But I went with the Doppelganger series, and this first book is Flowers in the Attic. And the reason I picked this series is because I know several people in my personal life that hate this book, and I really enjoyed it. I think that people hate it because of the stuff that happens in it. It's definitely a very toxic book. It is about this family that gets locked up in their attic, and they have this horrible grandmother that treats them horribly and abuses them, and it's definitely a very toxic book. The characters aren't good people, but I really enjoyed this book, and the second book I really enjoyed, but a lot of people in personal life hate it, but it's not really talked about on BookTube, so this one isn't really that good for the question, but it was the closest thing I could think of. But yeah, a lot of people hate this book. An OTP that I am not a fan of. I have 3 books to talk about for this. The first one, Twilight. I hate Jacob and Bella. Court of Thorns and Roses. Feyre and Tamlin. I don't know if they're that popular of an OTP, but I think that they are. So then I have The Hunger Games, Gel, and Katniss. Those are kind of older books that everyone seems to have an opinion on, but those are the only ones that I can think about that I get angry about, thinking the relationships and people choosing the other people, like, they actually make me kind of angry. The next question is a popular book genre that I don't typically reach for. That's contemporary, easily. I don't like reading contemporary. Anything, if it's contemporary romance, I might pick that up sometimes, but I don't typically like to anything contemporary. Thrillers I'll pick up if they're contemporary, but just a plain, like, novel that doesn't have anything, like, crazy and, like, not normal going on. I don't like reading just like normal books set up in like this world and with this environment, same people. I like reading historical fiction and fantasy. I don't really typically reach for anything contemporary. There's some exceptions when it comes to like thrillers and suspense and that type of stuff. but typically I just do not like those type of books, and I've read very few of them. So yeah, I think that's a very popular genre though, but I'm just not interested in it. A popular book character I didn't like. This one I had trouble with because it's hard to say like what's a popular book character, and also most popular book characters I like. Unless they're in part of like the three books I just talked about with the relationships I didn't like. But besides that, there's not really that good of an answer for this besides Sansa from Game of Thrones. I think that where I am at in this series, which I just finished the second book and I'm on the third, everyone doesn't like Sansa in those books, but and I don't like Sansa in those books, so, but I think later on everyone starts to love her, so maybe I'm just not far enough in to do that, but I really hate Sansa, and, book lovers are gonna hate me for this, but like the TV series, I didn't like Sansa the entire time. So, yeah, popular book character, I didn't really like her. It's not like I hate her, but she's just not that good of a character, in my opinion. Popular book trope that I am tired of seeing. I have a lot of tropes that I really don't like, but one of them is the trope where the main character tries to be mean or a horrible person or lies about something so then the other people won't care for them and be mad at them instead. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well, but it's just like trying to push people away so they don't get inside the situation that you're doing, and it's part of that miscommunication type of thing where all they need to do is communicate about it to solve a lot of problems, and I really hate that. So just like when the main character pushes someone away just to save them or whatever, I'm not a fan of that. A popular book series I have no interest in reading. Illuminate. That's an easy one. I know that book series is very, very popular, but I'm not really a fan of like the writing style. Like I tried to read the first page, so but then after that I was like, no, I don't like this. I don't like the way it's set up. I thought I would, but I didn't. So I just have no interest in reading it. It's a very popular series that a lot of people love, but it's just not interesting to me. And I think it's science fiction. I could be wrong. But I think it's science fiction. I'm not really into science fiction, so that's another thing. A popular author I cannot get into. Holly Black. I love fairies in books, and that's why I'm so disappointed that I don't like Holly Black's writing. The reason why I don't like her writing is because they're all her books are very modern with fairies in it. So they talk about, cell phones and driving and all of this stuff, and that kind of stuff, for some reason, this is probably why I don't like contemporary, but that pulls me out of the story. Every time I hear something about a cell phone, like, oh, I texted this person, I just feel so pulled out of the story. I don't like that. It just makes me remind myself of my own world, and I just want to escape when I read, and I don't know if it's probably both her writing style and the fact that she does that, but she has so many great ideas for books that are really genius, and I wish I enjoyed, but I don't. And I've read a lot of books by her, and I keep trying, because I'm like, this book sounds good, but I can't do it. I don't like it. So yeah, she's definitely very popular, and I wish I liked her writing. The last question is, what book to TV adaptation is better? This one is basically a book to movie adaptation. I really, really enjoy this book. I think this book is 5 stars. I adore it, but the movie is so good. I think I'll just show you which one it is. The Lovely Bones. I absolutely adore the movie for this. I think it's the way that like heaven is shown. I just think that there's such good like cinematography in this movie. It's just so just the way that like heaven is described and all of that is just fantastic. I think that this one is definitely the right answer for that. I really do love this book, though, don't get me wrong, but the movie is probably one of my favorites. The problem is there's a kind of a lot of movies that are from books that I adore and that are part of my favorite movies, but I can't really say that the book that is better than the book. There's Harry Potter, there's The Hunger Games, there's Twilight. I'm still a Twilight fan. I'm not really ashamed. And there's a ton, but the book is just also great. I think they're mostly on equal terms, or the book's a little bit better. But this one, I definitely think that the movie is a bit better. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. I really had fun talking about my unpopular opinions. I'm probably going to be doing a lot of tags in the future just because I'm kind of like haven't done booktube for years, so I kind of just want to like do all of them. But and then I'll probably do more unique videos as time goes on, but we'll see how it goes. I'm really excited, and I will see you next time. I have my Goodreads linked below that talk about all my spoiler reviews for all the books I read, and please like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye.